Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find, and with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Especially the first question. Today we have got with us dargndorp, EyesForEmpties,
Hello.
Godless Scummer, and
Hello.
Jen's Lil Corner, and Bill will be with us ever so shortly. But we can get on with the first question beforehand, because it's an important question, a profound question, a deep and meaningful question. And there's Bill.
Unlikely.
Suspense is killing
And
us.
Bill. Here's Bill.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Your timing is
Hello.
impeccable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. My timing's great, but I'm also rushing about.
Well, don't worry. Feel free to mute yourself.
I'm still here. I'm here.
Okay. Right.
I'm right.
The first question you might lack a little context for. Question 322. What should Nervardia name her new danger noodle?
I think Tiger.
Thylacine?
Yeah,
Thylacine.
well, I was quite partial to Panther, but as the only choices for voting at the moment are between Tiger and Thylacine, I've got to go with Team Tiger.
Team Tiger all the way.
So
Team
Tiger.
Tiger all the way, yeah.
Wiggle knee snickets?
Sorry?
Wiggle knee snickets.
We're going to be
The
sneaking.
only appropriate answer.
Julie says pumpkin.
But Julie's wrong.
Oh, we may have a late contender here. You never know.
Yeah,
N-
pumpkin,
Nervardia-
yeah, why not?
Nervardia says tiger.
Well, if we're just
But she
naming,
spelt it Thylacine.
She did. She spelt it wrong.
Something's atrocious.
if we're just naming it after a different animal than wombat. I mean, why
Yeah,
not?
wombat. Well, at least people know what a wombat
Like-
is. Not everyone knows what a thylacine is. So,
Well, it's like
It-
naming your dog Pig.
yeah.
Does it make
So-
any sense? No. Is it funny?
No.
No.
But
Yes.
Tiger does make sense in is stripy. I realized thylacines were stripy too, but people don't know that, and people do know that tigers are stripy. So,
Thylacines are
You know.
only semi-stripy.
Nerdy says chicken and mushroom pot noodle. Sammy Evertoform
It
says
sounds
trouser.
delicious. Trouser snakes are notorious.
Natty says sassy Slytherin. Starkey says fettuccine. Trainbeck says Carol. I like that.
Carol. Oh, can we go with Karen?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mandy.
Mappig has an interesting name for it as well.
Dave Stengler.
Yeah.
Damn, I completely missed that. Natty says name her Satan. People will have to learn what thylacine is.
This is just easier to call
Fine,
it.
if that's what you want to be doing, if you want to spend the rest of your life explaining that to people, then that is your choice.
So we-
Hashtag vote Tiger.
All
Bill,
of that?
without any context, do you have any clue what's going on?
Absolutely none.
Just
Totally
say
correct.
you pick
That's all the
tiger.
context you need.
So hold on. Are we a name of? Are we having a name of a tiger? What would
We're
I
naming
name
a
a tiger?
snake.
Is
We're
that-
naming a snake.
What kind of
Naming
snake
a
is it
snake.
anyhow?
Ah.
What
That
kind of
is an
snake is it?
important question that I wasn't privy to at the moment.
It's a sandworm.
That is a very
Snake
important part of the
makes
question. What
a
type of snake is it?
very... Yeah, if it's a garter snake or something, then stripy or
Then
blob.
you could
but if
come
it's
up
an
with some very interesting
fucking
names. if it was a garter
anaconda
snake.
or
It's a small thing about yay long and bright orange, and I've completely forgotten what type
You
of snake
realize
it
we
is.
can't see how your
how
great
you define
is.
yay long.
Have you not watched the video?
I
Oh no,
do
I've seen it,
understand
but
a
other people
general.
haven't.
You can show how
I
big
do
it is.
understand a general yay,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm not sure how
It's
long.
only about that
Dave's
long at the
yay
moment.
is.
It's a
That's what's
It's a Stimson's python.
Yeah.
Could I just say to Nervardia in the chat, we're not trying to rig the election. We're just election campaigning right now.
Yeah.
Difference.
We can't rig it. If we send people there to vote, both options are there. And you're winning at the moment anyway. I don't see what your problem is.
But we know that people are going to vote the right answer. We know that
Because
Tiger's
that's what
going
we
to
always do.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what
Yeah.
always happens. The right answer always wins.
And then the electoral college comes in and ruins everything for everyone.
You're saying
When this
Nervardia's going to
electoral
ignore the
college
poll,
will
aren't
be
you?
Marrow,
We're
because
saying,
I don't think it's going to matter who wins. She's still going to name it thylacine anyway.
so there's still a chance we might win the popular vote. It's just the electoral college might screw us over in this one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think we need the candidates to have a debate. A televised
Yeah.
debate. I demand
think
a
if you had
televised
snake, You
debate.
should call it Jim.
Jim.
Jeff,
Yeah,
what do you think?
Earthworm Jim.
Jeff, what do you think? You and I should host a debate between Mero and Notcha.
If Mero and
About the
Notcher are willing
name
to
in
have
this-
that debate,
if they're willing to do this?
willing to do that
They're
with
not.
Jen.
They're typical politicians.
Yeah.
They'll chicken out.
Oh yeah.
Snarky, name it chloroform. Snaky McSnaky Python. Stripy Noodle. Trouserous Snakus.
Is that what Harry Potter called a snake?
So what do you say, Mero and Notcha? A debate on my channel with Jeff and I co-hosting, where you two can debate the name of your danger noodle.
The worst thing is the first question was meant to be a serious question. So the next question is a smutty
Well done.
question.
Serious.
It's not a serious question. We know that Mero is just going to pick the name she wants. I like that. You need a neutral person, and you both want Tiger.
Yeah.
Well, I can't think of anyone in our group who actually wants what you want, Mero.
To be fair, I can be neutral because I don't care.
You just don't care.
To be fair, I'm also neutral because I don't care, but I'm also trying to swing the vote anywhere other than where the vote should be.
You're trolling the vote.
Yeah.
Oh,
so to
I
speak.
can be neutral about this, Mero. I like the idea of it being Tiger, but I'm quite prepared for you to persuade me on this.
Yeah, that indeed. We can be.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's
And I will
leaning
promise
towards
you I
Tiger.
will tell Notcha to shut up as much as I tell you to.
I'll convince you of anything but that being a good name.
Right. Next question. Question 323. Have you ever had sex with... I can't write a
Yes.
question. Have you or anyone you've had sex with anyone famous?
Oh.
This is
In my mind, mate.
in your
yes.
mind.
Bill's
How
correct.
famous you talking?
Oh, I think you can determine. Were you in? Wait there. Firstly, are we talking about you or are we talking about a degree of separation?
Either.
I think I don't know. Do you consider them famous?
How's Brian Molko? Brian Molko good enough?
Well, I don't know who
about
that.
Who?
Placebo. Guy from band Placebo.
Yes.
That's
Oh.
him, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's
Yeah,
famous.
that's good enough.
That's good enough. Work with that. Right.
My answer would be no.
No.
Not
Jen?
to the best of my knowledge.
People tend to be braggy about these things, so.
Yeah. If I knew, I
Right.
think I'd know.
Yeah, damn right.
Believe it. If I had, I'd be more than happy to say so on stream. But as I haven't, I've got to say no.
Jen?
I don't think so, but I was about to say I've slept with a lot of people. God, that doesn't sound good.
No, that doesn't help your case.
That doesn't help my case.
So would the
at
answer
all.
be probably?
Well, I'm Australian and I live in West Australia, the least least populous state.
Just
No, not the least popular. One of the lesser populous states.
Western Australia.
So my chances of actually having slept with somebody who's famous. I've never slept with somebody who was famous, but the chance of having slept with somebody who was famous is quite low.
I'm sorry. I just the way you said
The
it.
law of averages.
The law of
It's
averages states that it's
so-
probably unlikely.
As a Kevin, it so drew my awareness to the law of Kevin Bacon.
Yes. Well, this is it.
Where I was like, yeah.
Well, this
maybe
is
I
why-
slept with
this is
somebody
why
who
I was
slept with
restricting
somebody
it to
who slept
1
with
degree.
Somebody who slept with somebody who slept with Kevin Bacon.
Sammy says,
So,
I,
who
sl-
knows?
I slept with someone that claims to have slept with Ben Harper. I have no idea who Ben Harper is.
I'm just glad the name Epstein hasn't come up in the chat yet. Anyway,
Starkey says, I've been approved and I pretty much stay home on orders or not, so nope.
If someone says Cardinal Pell, I'm going to not be happy.
no.
I think at the point where I've slept with somebody who's slept with somebody who's slept with anybody else in this chat, that's the point at which we've all been famous.
Dargndorp.
I don't. Is it dargndorp? Just call me Andy.
Andy, I can work with
no.
Andy.
There we go. No, I don't think I have anything to add here.
You don't think?
No, but everyone who slept with me has slept with someone who's famous. So
I'll
there's that.
I could
Well done.
add that we think that Darth Dawkins might want to sleep with me or with Chris. We're not quite sure yet.
Darth Dawkins might want to
Maybe
sleep with
both at the
somebody
same
at some point.
time.
Yeah, we think we think in his mind we're not quite sure though who.
But he's not really famous. He's more infamous.
He's internet, somewhat internet famous or.
Why did we even bring him up? Dave, what's the next question?
What's the next question?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like bringing up Nazis at that point. The question's over.
Yes.
Thread is done. We
God,
brought up
the whole
Darth
thing.
Dawkins. Move on.
Question.
There we go. We want to get past a difficult question in future. I know what to do.
Mention Darth Dawkins. It's over. You've lost. Question
Tony
300.
Design says he slept with Kevin Bacon.
You lost the game.
Question 324. Should drug addicts be helped rather than punished?
Oh
Yes.
fuck yes.
Sure. That's not a stupid question. That's an easy question.
There are some.
Hang on, I missed
mean-
it. What was it?
Should drug addicts be helped rather than punished?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's
No
clearly, I mean, I don't. There are a lot of people who will define it as a disease. I don't think it's a disease in the way that laymen use the word disease. It's defined differently, but it's well, now I can't actually come up with how disease is defined in the DSM-5, but it's compulsion. It's not something that people choose in any means. Addiction. It's something that once you're addicted, you kind of can't help. And yeah, there should be major support for that. I think 12-step programs are a huge detriment to helping people through
Yes,
that.
very much so.
CBT therapy is a start, but that's not even that helpful. I think people should be provided therapy and help and given all the resources they can, rather than being, imprisoned or whatever. I mean, the US imprisons people for being drug addicts, and That's not the way to treat the problem. That's the way to deal with an individual, maybe, but it doesn't help them or society.
Right, we go. Junk shop, yes. Nerdy, yes. Next. Nervardia helped. Tony, yes. Natty, not generally, no. I don't think they should be punished unless they are beyond help. Then just put them out of their misery. Lol. Like my ex. Cigarettes can be more addictive than the likes of heroin, says Trainbeck.
That was here for fun question.
Not so sure about that.
No, but Bill, helped, criminalised.
Well, you know I'm a recovering addict, right?
Yes.
So I guess you all already know what that answer to that question is, you know?
Have you been punished?
Do my best to answer for Bill, but
I'm only minor for possession. I'm quite lucky because my mum was a copper. Obviously, I know the legal system inside out, so I got away with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, this got to be a general. I think there's a general consensus on this that locking up addicts, it doesn't work.
No,
you know, it's just demonstrably overwhelming that that does not work.
And yet we're still doing it.
And yet the problem is we're still fucking doing it. Obviously, I think in the United States, it's almost kind of become big business now, prison, hasn't it? So.
Yeah, I was trying not to. I don't know if I'm the only U.S. citizen in our chat here.
Right now, yes.
No, you're not.
But
I'm also a U.S. citizen.
Are you?
Right.
Yeah, I got dual citizenship. I'm German and formerly American. Yeah.
My bad.
2 passports.
But yeah, the U.S. makes big business out of locking up people who have drug addiction. I mean, it's only in the last decade maybe that even marijuana, which I've always seen as a minor crime, is not imprisonment for
marijuana is
many
ridiculous.
years.
It's demonstrably safer than alcohol.
Yeah.
Can someone smack Nerdy for me? I've just got an image in my head I will never be able to get rid of.
Tell me about it. You're not in the image.
Nerdy, just for that, you to make up for that comment, you're going to have to. I'm obliging you to go to not just poll and vote for Tiger. You're obliged to do that.
Right, listen, you can hear the police coming for him.
Yeah, I'm in Nothing Life ban for that image.
Question: should some people be forced into therapy?
Probably after this, we all will be.
Yeah.
Probably. I'm not. I think your argument there would not be. I don't think you would get disagreement. I think the argument is about where the line is as to who, rather than.
So currently, in the U.S., where I am, and I'm not saying that this should apply to the whole world, but where I am, we do have enforced therapy groups. Luckily, most of them are secular for people who have offenses that are drug related. And that's for first-time offenders.
And it bothers me how much of your legal system is based around sending people to 12-step things.
So, luckily, the Constitution that we have here steps in at a certain point, and sometimes you have to fight to bring that into the conversation. But if somebody is sent to a 12-step program and they are enforcing you have to, surrender yourself to a higher power, you can say, as a atheist secularist, that I don't believe in any of this. And you can have the God, now I'm blanking on the acronym. They've got the Southern Poverty Law Center and the
ACLU.
Yeah, that's the one. And they will step in, and if you have a case, they'll take it to the highest courts and defend you for free on your part. If, I went to court, I was sentenced to religious sorts of punishment. And they will carry your case from there if you're a secular person and being forced into a religious treatment program.
Yeah. I mean, Natty goes, on how much he was using it, I'm not talking about pot, I mean coke, acid on a daily, massive amounts of coke, was also laced with meth. Yes, forced my ex into treatment. Right.
I mean, yeah, there's something to be said for like interventions. There is something to be said for that. But again, it's like we said, where is the line with that?
That's where the debate is.
That's where the contentious thing is going to be.
One Bill.
I think, to be honest, it depends on what results from that situation.
Yeah.
If they end up committing some kind of crime, which directly affects another person, another individual, right? Then okay, you can say, all right, you've committed this crime. You have an option. Either you can go to jail or you can go through a rehab program.
Yeah.
Those are your options. I think it's fair to say that, right?
Yes.
If it's a really heinous crime that you've committed, into like a violent crime in terms of because of your drug addiction, then fine, jail, right? However, if your addiction, if you're not committing crimes to fund your addiction, which I know not a lot of people, that's not true for a lot of people, but it is true for some. If you are getting high as a kite day in, day out, and it isn't actually affecting your people around you, then I don't think anyone has the right to tell you to do anything in any way, shape, or form.
No, entirely.
You're right.
Yeah.
So that's my 10 pence worth.
Yes.
I'd love to talk further with you about that, Bill. I think we've probably already talked about that some, but
a little.
It'll be fun. Right, next question.
Oh, it'll be a blast.
It will. Right. Question 325. Is liquid soap just an elaborate con?
Not very elaborate, actually.
Not very elaborate. Very good.
Not very.
It's a slippery
not
slope.
really elaborate.
It's just lube by another name.
It's not very good lube. Trust me.
It works in a pinch.
I wouldn't want that in me. Thank you very much.
It burns like a motherfucker.
It's invigorating.
I don't know. Liquid soap can be very handy, though, in certain circumstances. So,
but you still lose most of it. This is the problem with liquid soap.
It's so much easier to wash your hands with, though.
Well, this is why they've got the foaming soap.
What?
Foaming soap.
Liquid soap, just... What was the actual question? I can't see it.
Is liquid soap just an elaborate con? The amount of liquid soap you actually use, the majority of it goes down the drain.
Well, it depends on how liberal you are with your soap.
Everyone is too liberal.
And
most of it
depends how long you actually scrub your hands with it for. It depends on all sorts of stuff.
If you put the soap on, I'm not on camera. You put the soap.
I'm gonna go wash my hands now and see how liquid soap works.
Do it slowly. Do it slowly.
Yes,
when you
I
put it on
will.
your hand and you bring your other hand on top, most
I'll
of
leave
it.
the mic on. You can hear the water.
Most of it squirts out.
Okay.
one squirt,
One
2
squirt.
minutes of rinsing.
Yeah,
I
most
think
of the
hand
soap squirts out.
sanitizer is a bigger waste, though.
Yes, I agree.
So this.
Now, Natty has a very point.
Fine, nothing's dripping off.
If you lather it up before,
every day.
it doesn't tend to all go down the drain. But that's not how most people use it. It's actually it's so much.
That's what I mean. That's why I said it depends on how you actually wash your hands, because I literally will rub it until it is foamed all over my hand. Then I rub my wrist, so it's all over my wrist. Then each individual finger, I'll literally scrub each individual finger with my other hand.
Under your
Roll
nails.
it right back around inside my other hand. My thumbs, rub it into my palms, like the whole lot, for like at least 20 seconds.
But again, you are not normal for the context of this. That's saying you are not normal is wrong. Say again?
I'm fully aware I'm not normal.
If you want to
I just washed my hands and it works fine. It works fine.
Because it works fine. No.
It works fine.
Nice, Jen.
I just realized you can't read that.
Not at all.
Nope.
No, I could see the shape of the bottle. I know what you're showing.
It's Astroglide.
So I
You
know
gotta
that
rub something,
here
that's what you need.
here in Boulder County, Colorado, they've done the studies about like the stuff that comes out of your sink and goes into the water stream. And some of that's interesting and some of it's not. And I'm not sure what the effects of soap are. I think people should use less soap and use it better.
Yes, entirely. An off-topic question is: ask Scummer where his hair went.
Right here.
You were hoping he chopped it off, weren't you?
Do I have the longest hair of anybody in the stream?
How would we know?
I don't know how long is your hair.
It's almost down to my belly button.
You're longer than
Oh wow!
mine.
Yeah, you do at the moment.
Yeah, I'm bald, so.
My hair was halfway down my back before I had it cut short before summer.
My hair was down to my bum 20 years ago.
20 years ago, though.
I get the
Yeah.
occasional.
That's not bad considering it's grown back a
pleasant
couple of inches
surprise
since I had it
from-
cut.
I get the occasional pleasant surprise from my hair tickling my butt crack.
Lovely.
All right, next question.
Now we're getting there. Right. Stupid notifications. Question.
Yeah, you realise the whole chat's talking about masturbation now.
Yes. And whose fault is that?
Oh, someone.
No, I can't see that.
Badger for bringing up my lovely hair. Just got people excited.
I was trying not to name and shame him. Question.
Badger.
Mushroom.
Sorry.
Question 326. Have you ever thought you might be in your own version of the Truman Show?
No, because it wouldn't be very entertaining TV.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
quite cool. And I like the beard.
Anyway, mine would be bloody pornographic. So.
What, you think the Truman Show wasn't? I thought they just censored it.
I remember when I was a kid, I was always had the idea that what if all other people were robots? That's basically the same thing.
Well, it's no different from thinking you're a brain in a vat, is it? That this is all virtual reality. So
No,
it's the same.
these were robots. This was totally clear. People could be robots, and I wouldn't be able to tell.
I did
sounds
have
like a
about a
conspiracy
year that I thought that like every outlet and light socket was watching me, but that quickly went away. And it was before the Truman Show came out.
All right, here's a question. If the Christian God is true, how is that different to the Truman Show?
Was that directed at somebody?
Oh, because of free will.
Free will.
If the Christian God is true, there is no free will.
No.
Exactly. That's where I was going.
Right, where we
You
got?
can't have an all-powerful, omnipotent being and have free will. It's not possible.
No. Nerdy says no next. Natty says yes. Natty says yes. Natty says a couple of times. No, it was a number of times in my adult life when I was sober. An audience of one. I think Julie and Junk Shop are on the same wavelength. They both said the same thing at exactly the same time.
Terrible dreams where everybody's watching me, but
Oh yeah.
Do we want to know watching you do what?
Doing a whole lot of nothing, but just having all those eyes on me. I mean, I've got EyesForEmpties, as people know, but...
Yeah, you haven't had the dream where you're walking through a shop and suddenly you realize you're naked?
No, I've never had that.
I have.
I've never had dreams of being... I did have a dream of being naked with a partner once.
Well, that's different. That's an erotic dream.
Yeah, and it only occurred once. Otherwise, no.
All I'm gonna say on this question is this: if any of us here are the subjects of a great big like Truman Show kind.
No, before you finish that sentence, if any one of us is part of that, the other 5 of us are obviously in on it.
Yeah.
Go on.
The other 5 of us suck because at least 4 of us can't even be seen.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this. I hope that if I have to say who I'm the subject of, I'm hoping I'm getting more views than I get on my channel.
Truman would have a fucking bang.
Yeah, I'd be really disappointed if it's me and people aren't watching my fucking channel. That'd be really annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 seconds. I gotta mute myself. I can't read it.
And if that's the case, can I smack the director around the head with something?
No.
Wasn't the director of Truman Show Ed Harris? He was so good in The Rock. Just as a tangent.
My favourite film that I've ever seen with Ed Harris in is I think it's called Under Fire or Courage Under Fire, which is about some war journalists in Nicaragua. It's also got Nick Nolte in it. It's absolutely brilliant.
Did you just say Nicaragua?
That's how we say it here.
I love you, Bill. And you're wrong.
That is how it's pronounced in English.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not on camera for you to see both my hands on my face.
You're not supposed to have your hands on your face.
No, don't go there. Right.
Fine. Ask another question, damn it.
Question 320. Question 327. Have you ever done anything bad in a jacuzzi, in brackets, or non-branded hot tub?
What do you mean by bad?
Yeah, that was my question.
Or non-branded hot tub. That's the best part of the question.
You mean I've cheated on my taxes while I was in the jacuzzi? I don't think that happened.
Bad can be interpreted any way you'd like.
So it could be just something as peeing in there.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Maybe when I was like 8 years old or something like that. I don't know. But I can't honestly think of it off the top of my head.
But did you pee when you're sitting in it?
Or do you stand up and pee into it?
Stand on the side of it and pee into it.
That's a bit like that's a bit like there's a joke in it's a bit like a joke in Only Fools and Horses, isn't it? They're saying, your kid Damien, he's having a piss in the swimming pool. Says, well, all kids do that. Not from the 20-meter diving board, they don't.
It's the difference between peeing in a pool and peeing into a pool.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Jen.
Okay, if you're talking about having sex in a jacuzzi, I've never done that, but I have had sex in a swimming pool.
Uh-huh.
But that's not bad.
Sorry?
It is within the context of the question.
Actually, to be perfectly honest, after having done it, it's not something I would do again. It's like having sex on a beach.
That's also true.
Over fucking rated.
It might have been bad. It might have been bad if it was done during the children's fun swimming session, but you know.
Water is not a lubricant.
Yeah.
This is my part of the pool.
When people think
it wasn't public.
Julie says, yes, I caught rheumatic fever. How do you catch rheumatic fever in a hot tub?
Hashtag golf clap.
Sammy says, I blew a load in a gym spa. Was he on his own? Natty says, yes, sat on one of the water jets to, lol.
I want no more information.
Natty's not that sort of person.
Thought that was Sammy. Either way, I want no information.
Oh, Sammy is definitely that type of person. Natty says, I tried to have sex in a pool, it wouldn't go in. Bill.
Yes.
If you're a decent person, don't answer it.
Other than the sort of things that I usually do in jacuzzis and stuff, like, same sort of, like, yeah, I guess.
That was
like, it's just going to be the same sort of answer that I would usually give,
answer.
probably.
Other than what
Like,
I usually do,
Yeah.
I did the things I usually do.
Oh my god. I just read what Badger said.
This goes back to my
Yeah,
early
most
question.
people would consider those pretty bad, though, wouldn't they? They'd be like,
Badger.
smoking weed, microdosing
Yeah,
acid,
yes.
sex.
This goes back to my earlier question. Have you ever just shut yourself? Did we ever actually get a answer to that question out of Badger?
No, I think we just got the answer to that question out of Badger. Obviously in a jacuzzi.
Sammy says, yes, water creates unbelievable friction. I don't know how anyone has had sex in bodies of water.
You gotta use a lube that, or something that lubricates that's water resistant.
Yes.
You gotta use something like Vaseline or something like that.
Yeah. Good silicone
It's not
lube.
pleasant.
Yeah.
It's
But it's
not
overrated.
what-
You've got to do it
it's
right.
very overrated.
You've got to do it right.
Yeah. We like our bodies sweaty
Or
and
you
oily,
just
and that's
don't
better.
do it at all. My personal advice to anybody thinking, hey, there's a plan, I've seen it in the movies, don't do it.
Or maybe fill your jacuzzi with olive oil or something like that. So you're all slippery and whatever. That could be fun.
Yeah, you could also fry. Please find you the next day. Well, they're well done. Quick, barbecue.
Fair enough.
Question 356. What's the best place that you've ever fried your cum in?
Next question.
Here I am to ruin Dave's stream.
Yes. Question 328. What is the strangest thing you have found in a bodily crevice? And they gave examples.
May as well have been the other question.
What? Cleavage, belly button, butt crack.
Okay.
I know. I think I've had a wasp in the belly button before. That was fucking painful.
Oh yes.
Oh.
How it got
Did
there,
you
I've no
find it
fucking
before or
idea.
after it stung you?
Well, the stinging part had quite a bit to do with it. Me
That
finding
was
it.
when you were aware
How
of
the
it?
fuck it got there in the first place, I'm not quite sure.
Do you think? I think it must include things like ears and noses. Surely, are they
It
not
reminds me
crevices?
of
Our
the
ears
Greg
Yeah.
Evans quote. This morning I shot an elephant in my pajamas. I've got my pajamas, I'll never know.
I've spilled lots of stuff down my tits at various times, so...
Yeah, but you haven't found that stuff there. Someone else has
once
surreptitiously.
sucked
Not unexpectedly.
But, you mean randomly found something that I had no idea how it got there.
Yes.
I once sucked a moth out of a friend's ear.
That's so
Do you not
hot.
own tweezers?
We were hitchhiking in Argentina. We were sitting there in the evening in the wonderful city of Salta, and all of a sudden he started jumping up and down because a moth had
Death's moth?
flown into his ear and it just somehow lodged itself into it. And we had no way of getting it out. No pharmacies and whatever were all closed. So went back to the hotel and I got a straw and I sucked out the moth.
Fair enough. It's effective.
There you go.
And unique story. Natty
Winner.
says...
Next question.
I didn't swallow it,
finish
but
this
I did
one
get
yet.
it in my mouth.
Natty
No,
says...
that wins.
That
Yeah, I
wins.
think that's pretty.
Nobody's gonna top that.
I don't know.
I found a string that looked suspiciously like a tampon string in my belly button once.
Where was the rest of the tampon? Natty says, we got drunk and high at a movie marathon thing,
Right.
and the next day there was tons of popcorn crumbs. Go on, Bill.
How fucking big is your belly button?
So a piece of Lego. But that was when I went to my mate's house and fell asleep and woke up in the morning, and obviously my godson had thought it would be funny to stick a piece of Lego up my nose and in my ear, and I had bits of Lego in various different facial orifices. That was quite interesting.
Something tells me you earned it.
Oh,
Maybe.
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 Right, a nice, easy
Have we all
one
answered
next. Yes.
Yeah.
Apart from me, but that doesn't
Unless
matter.
anybody comes up with gerbils or other
Gerbils.
live rodents.
How would you randomly find a gerbil in a crevice?
You
Lemmiwig.
might be surprised.
I just wake up one morning and it was crawling around.
I just felt it crawling out of this crevice.
Ask Richard.
Right. Question 329. Should assisted suicide be legal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely not.
With preface that for people who are in chronic pain or dying,
Why?
I think other people should have therapy to help them overcome their things. But yeah,
We're talking about the
So
underlying
you
premise
don't-
here, rather than the specifics
the
of
underlying
implementation.
premise, yes.
Go on, Bill.
Don't think somebody should be able to opt for it.
You chose me to answer this question deliberately because you already know what my answer is, don't you?
Very much so.
And that's why I was
Yes,
trying
suicide
to
should be legal,
override
assisted
those.
and otherwise. In any situation, absolutely yes, suicide should 100% be legal. It is your life and you have the right to end it as you see fit.
This is why I was trying to override Bill's answer and challenge Jen on it. Because I know his answer, I know my answer. Her answers seem to be slightly ambiguous in a certain way,
No,
and a little bit more nuanced.
Yeah, well, I agree. Well, I don't think people should just take their lives. I think they should look for help first.
Well,
But
so
I'm totally for having euthanasia.
I totally think that there should be, at the very minimum, well, I mean, what's the old joke about, what's the sentence for suicide? It's life in prison. What's the punishment for attempted suicide? So, I think it's, sorry, now I'm ruining the joke. And it's not a good joke to begin
Yeah,
with.
you got it the
because
wrong way
it's
round.
suicide joke. But it's
Right.
something along the lines of what's the punishment for attempted suicide? It's life imprisonment. What's the punishment for committing suicide? It's
Death penalty.
you're free to go.
Right, quick questions. Natty says, yes, make suicide booths a thing. Bad-tempered Badger screams, Dave, you had to fucking ask this question while I'm not there. I've got a whole fucking sit on this one here.
If Badger wants to answer it, I'll jump out for a second.
Or I will.
I did offer. Sammy says for medical reasons, yes.
I mean, I think that people who are dealing with chronic mental illness, the first step, as Jen said, should be therapy.
But that's it's not that I'm not disagreeing with the thing. The underlying premise, though, is we're discussing is whether or not it should be allowed as a principle.
I
Yes,
think
I agree
that
with that.
if somebody kills themselves, obviously there's nothing you can do.
Yes,
If
but at the moment
somebody
it's the
wants,
actively
if somebody.
stopping them.
Sorry, I'm not trying to overtalk you, but I am trying to make my point.
Go on.
If somebody wants to kill themselves, there's not a lot you can do about it other than talk to them. I mean, you can absolutely, if it comes to it, force them into a padded cell, take away anything they could possibly use to harm themselves. That's an option, and that's not dealing with the problem. I just hours ago was dealing with somebody who I really care about, who had posted something online that made me think that maybe she was suicidal, and had a long conversation with her and felt confident in ending the conversation that she was feeling better. I've done this with Bill, not to call him out, but this is something that people
It's all
deal
good,
with.
dude. Everyone knows. Most people know.
Well, some of us know. Now everybody here knows.
I want to
now
hear
everyone
Badger's
knows.
answer. Hop in, Badger.
It's one of those things where if somebody's dealing with that, the best thing you can possibly do is try and get them help. You can force them into intervention, and then if you can't help them, they're just going to cycle back into where they were. And maybe you did nothing. Maybe you just wasted 2 years of your life and their life and all the resources that you forced them to go through, whether it's therapy or whatever. And then they get out of it and go kill themselves. It's just really something where it's better to make that human connection, give them a support network, build it up from the bottom up, rather than force them into anything. And yeah, I think that's my piece on that. If you want to talk more about it, let me know.
Fair enough. I'm going to quickly run through the chat. Everyone's got a right to exit in their own time.
Badger says he's coming.
I know, I gave him the link. Julie says, as someone who's had suicidal ideation.
Ideations.
Yeah.
Oh, right there.
I'll drop for a
You
couple
can
of minutes. For Badger
kick
if you
me
want.
out
I'll
also
help
at any
Jen
point.
drop.
Let me finish reading this. 2 seconds, Badger. Let me finish catching up on the chat, but I'll ignore your messages.
Apologies if it
That's okay. Lost a dear friend to suicide. I say go to therapy, take your fucking meds. Things can be more traumatizing for friends and family if you don't give them a humane option. It should be my Robert says it should be my life to decide on. By the way, if I wanted to end my life, I would just try to stop me unless I'm in hospital. Not really sure I get that. Natty, like how some people can go to therapy and treatment, recover like with drug addiction, but having the option to have a humane clean out should be available because some people can't. And the one problem I've got with that is that there are making people go through certain things therapy wise can be prolonging the torture.
Yes.
2 seconds. I need to finish the chat. Otherwise, I'll never catch up. If Trump is legal, so should suicide be. Natty, to be permanently institutionalized is no life at all.
Okay, I like that.
It's the most tragic laugh I've had in months.
Robert, I agree with everything, but it's still technical, still suicide when someone else does it for you. Yes, it is. Natty, yes, it's called assisted suicide. Some people can. More about clean exits. Right, okay. Badger.
4 years ago, my uncle died of cancer, and we saw that, and we always went there. And that was in Luxembourg, where officially assisted suicide is legal.
Yeah.
But he didn't look into it, and he suffered dearly for it, and it robbed him. The inability to take his own life robbed him of the last dignity and agency he ever had. Which is very different from someone being in a crisis or having mental problems, not taking their meds or whatever, and then opting for suicide. Those are different cases, actually.
Yes, no, I completely agree. But like I said, we're trying to stick to the underlying premise, rather than the specific circumstances.
Right, I've got my headset on now, so hopefully it won't echo.
Go on.
Oh, now you sound like you're in a spaceship.
I am in a space. No, I'm not. I'm in the woods. Anyway.
Aren't we all?
I can get in a spaceship if you like.
No, just say your piece.
Alright, I have 2 comments on this.
Sorry, I'm a huge interrupter.
That's alright. The first comment is as follows. The state does not own you. You have no obligation to continue to live to keep other people happy. If each individual person should have the right to decide if they want to continue to exist. And my other comment is it is what I consider my biggest failing as a person. That when my grandmother, who was in the early stages of Alzheimer's, asked me to smother her with a pillow rather than continue to live and gradually see her mind fall apart and no longer be able to recognize her family. It is my biggest failing in my perception of myself that I wasn't brave enough to do that for her rather than let her continue to suffer.
Yeah. I cannot.
Sorry,
I empathise with that so much.
Yeah.
It
Have
is.
your glass? Bring your glass. It's in the living room.
We are brought up in this country that it is horrific to consider that, and yet we are faced with actually dealing with people that are in those that is in that condition that wants to end it so badly.
My follow-on. No, I have unmuted myself again. My follow-on from that is that what I should have done is just done it and fucked the concept.
Yeah. There's one in the sink and there's one here.
But I didn't, and I feel that I failed because of it.
I always have one when I go to bed.
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah.
I have similar feelings about my uncle going. That would have been, could have been, should have done something. So I understand where you come from. Also, my grandma also died of Alzheimer's, so I know what you went through there. So that's also heartbreaking.
Right. Sorry to jump in and bring the mood down.
No, that's okay.
No, it's cool. That's actually
No.
It's
No, gotcha.
it sums up an awful lot of the points we've been making.
That's
Yeah,
just
and
something I have a
really
very strong
realistic.
opinion on. I wanted to make sure that side of it is heard because for someone
And no
who-
one's down on you for this, Badger. I mean, in all honesty, all I want to do now is give you a great big hug because
thank you.
it's sad and I care about you, and you shouldn't have to keep hammering yourself over this. It was a situation that happened, and it doesn't mean you were weak. Just because you couldn't bring yourself to do that, it doesn't mean you're a weak person. Doesn't mean you weren't a loving grandson. It just is something that's really hard to do, and that's why other options are needed for people. You know, there are people who
Yep,
are strong enough
I
to help
agree.
other people, and that's why those options have to be there. It shouldn't come down to one member of the family having to be the person who does it.
Well, it's not just
There
that,
should
though, is
be
it?
other
It's one
options.
member of the family having to basically ruin their own life to do what is right.
That's right.
I eventually will go to jail.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Shush.
Yeah.
Just.
My the other comment that I have on that is that from the perspective of my grandmother, she had been, you know, Christian her whole life, though not hugely devout. She was, you know, she would go to the church. She would her perspective of sort of family events came from that view of things. So, to me, for her to ask me to do that, I think was a huge thing for her as well.
Yeah. Just know that you're loved, Badger, and we all care about you, and sending you lots of hugs.
Right, I need to move on. Go on.
I'm going to jump out, but thanks very much for letting me in just to say my bit.
That's okay. Thank you very much for coming and sharing.
Thank you, Badger.
Thanks.
Don't know if he's back, but we should go to a nice light-hearted question.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
we need
please.
something lighthearted.
Question 330. If you had to eat the pants of someone you know, whose would you eat?
Eat the pants?
Yeah.
Are we talking like jeans or something like that, or are we talking underwear?
Either. Given that I can't remember where this question came from. I think this question came from an English author. So, my guess is
So I think-
underwear.
Underwear. Could you repeat the question, please? You have to eat the pants of.
Yeah, if you had
How
to...
well do we have to know them?
You don't have to know them that well. But you have to know them.
Do we have to know of them?
No.
Is that sufficient?
No, knowing of them is not sufficient.
Well, I guess mine stream froze, so I was still thinking of Badger, but
Badger would be acceptable.
And-
You know him well enough as a...
no, that's not the person of whom's pants that I would like to eat. But just throwing it out there that I would be willing
that was an
to
interesting word
further
that came in there.
continue
I didn't-
the conversation with Badger. However, as far as people whose pants I'd like to eat, nobody that I know, and a lot of people that I know of. And that's my answer.
But that's why it's meant to be a difficult question. You have
Yeah,
to eat them.
Are we
I gave you
allowed
a simple answer.
Are we allowed to pick celebrities?
No, not unless you know them.
Okay, so it has to be somebody we know personally.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I
In real
asked
life, or
about
does that
knowing
include knowing,
or knowing
and
of.
stuff like that?
Well, I would accept, for example,
If you
let's go with...
want to eat Math Pig's pants, you're welcome to.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a hard no.
Yeah, I don't want to eat that big.
It's not eating pants an option. No. Robert X,
All
Bart
right,
Simpson.
At the moment, people I know well who I'd be happy to eat the pants off. Neil the 604 Atheist,
Yeah.
or Jen Aldrich.
They work. Jeff, what have you walked back in on?
Yeah. I don't know how to answer that question. I can't honestly think of anyone.
Badger said me.
I would maybe amend my answer to Vila Bianca.
Fair enough.
I don't want to say anyone in the community because it could get me in so much fucking trouble. It really could.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's like
I
this
was thinking the same thing.
See, I picked two people who wouldn't care that I said that.
Yeah.
Tafinos, I
I,
think maybe we could be friends. Who knows?
I mean, I probably could have said Dave's too, but and he would have just laughed it off. But he's in the chat, so it's not as effective.
Which
He's
day?
in the stream. This Dave.
Yeah, I don't see myself chowing down on bloomers.
You don't see yourself chowing down. The point is, you've been forced to. A gun has been put to your head. Your best friend is going to be killed.
Well, with the gun at my head, I'll eat any pants. So that's...
Yeah.
Dude, I'll eat my own food.
Yeah.
With the
Well,
gun
what
at
if
my
the
head.
gun is at the other person's head, and if you don't eat their pants, they're going to be shot?
Oh,
Yeah.
Trump.
Who they are.
Dave's fucking
they are.
dead.
Yeah.
That's easy. So he's got the gun to his head. If I don't eat his, he gets shot. Okay, sure, Trump. There we go.
There you go. And you won't eat them. And you won't eat
I
them.
would not. No,
Who would eat Trump's pants? Come on.
I would not.
Oh,
They might.
Dude,
I'm sure,
I'd
they're sure there
put
might
the
be
gun
one or
against
two
my
Russian-
head before I eat Trump
That-
or his
They'd
pants.
definitely be Cheeto flavored.
I'm sure there may be very well be one or two Russian women that he may have had paid to do that. I don't know. You know?
I heard there's video.
Badger says he will,
Oh, I like Badger's answer.
I will invite Critical Cripple for a meal at a fancy place and then secretly eat his trousers during the meal so that when he stands up he has no trousers.
I like his later one about Nervardia.
Oh, with that. Nervardia because her pants have not just face on them. Oh.
Too bad you weren't staying there, Badger.
Go on, Bill. Shoot yourself in the foot.
I'm trying to think. Like I'm because there's a few people from school that I probably would. One of which I'm not going to name them just because it would. But one of which is one of those people that is obsessively hygienic and showers like 3 times a day. So I'd be down for that. That would be fine.
A day?
They'd probably only three
Not-
times a day.
not a
Yeah,
year?
morning, noon, and night. I like 3 times a day, literally showers 3 times
Not
a day.
a year. Somebody who showers 3 times a year.
Other than that, I'm
Dave's
thinking
alternate
maybe Cheshire Vic, because imagine how much fucking drama that would cause.
Oh!
Damn.
Oh, that's...
You would have to steal them and do a stream of you eating them. That could go on for months.
You're saying that they'd be that chewy, Dave?
No.
Chesh would probably sell them to you for that.
Yes.
Chesh would probably wouldn't be above selling them for you for that.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, Bill, on making a British joke that I'm unaware of.
Natty says, "Do I have to swallow them? Because now, do I do that without? How do I do that without choking? Or is it like you gag me with your pants? No, you've got to chew them and swallow them and eat them.
They could be edible underwear.
No, that goes against the spirit of the question.
Yeah, whole different ballgame.
And you're much. And I can say you're a lot less interested in the pants
Ball
then.
game.
Whole different ball gag.
Right. Question.
Edible underwear do not taste nice.
Some edible
And
underwear
if you have
does.
them eaten off you end up with sticky shit all over you.
Yep.
I don't
Food-
know. Depends on who
food-
you're eating them off.
Food and sex is temperamental at
Isn't
best.
it? No,
No, it can work.
No
It's
food.
just, it's always got to
It
be.
can work. Yeah.
Everybody
Gotta be the right type of food.
that normally does it
Cream on your
uses
nipples is fun.
uses far too much of the food, and you just
Was
end
it
up very,
9.5
very
weeks?
sticky. Say again?
A little bit of cream on the nipples and somebody licks them off.
Was it 9.5 weeks? Was
Yeah.
that the movie?
Mm,
Oh, with the
With the strawberries.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
film's got a
slowed
lot
it
to
down
answer for.
To the strawberries.
Right. Question. This fits in very well with that, actually, with where that was going. Question 331. Which seemingly seemingly respectable celebrity do you suspect is a coked-up sex pest?
I just want to hear you ask that question again and not stumble over it.
Okay. Question 331. Which seemingly respectable celebrity do you suspect is a coked-up sex pest? Eamon Holmes.
Who's that?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
A British TV, British daytime telly presenter. I wouldn't have suspected.
Sorry, who was that? Philip Schofield.
Philip I said Eamon Holmes, but Philip Schofield I could see. Say again?
Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr.
No, he's fucking
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
See, 20 years ago, I might have answered Angus Deaton for this, but it turns out he really was a coked up sex pest.
Bruce Willis,
wow.
Benedict Cumberbatch, Richard Branson.
Yeah.
Those aren't surprising at all. None.
Those aren't surprising. Why do you call him Woos Willis? Oh, Woos Brillis. Okay. Jimmy Carr. You think Jimmy Carr? See, I don't. I think Jimmy Carr is unbelievably straight-laced.
dude, he's a fucking.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd need to.
He's a marionette doll.
He's a
Dressed
marionette.
up
He
as a
is.
human.
Yes.
I love his laugh.
I love Jimmy Carr, but
Oh, I'm sorry, Angela Merkel.
Angela Merkel.
Yes. There we go. That's a good one.
Badger says, I'm trying to picture Judi Dench as a coked up sex pest. Her recent role in Cats helps a lot.
What was the
Sean
Scottish fella
Connery in
called
his
that was a
70s?
coked up sex pest that used to be on morning TV and was also on Blue Peter? You must know.
John
that,
Leslie.
Dave.
John Leslie.
Yeah, John Leslie. There we go.
What about Whoopi Goldberg?
what about Whoopi
I've
Goldberg?
always thought that Whoopi Goldberg is naughty.
Yeah, I think he's really naughty.
What's his face? Jimmy Savile?
Yeah, he was way beyond
Let's
coked up
not-
sex pest.
Let's not even go there.
That's beyond. That's
I was
beyond.
just trying to
sex pest.
remember the name. It's British common knowledge. Not.
Hillary Clinton, apparently. And Hillary Duff.
I mean, that's
I'm not-
only if you want to go into the Pizzagate.
I'm wondering now.
Mickey Mouse.
Bill Clinton. Would it be a surprise to anybody if Bill Clinton was a coked up sex pest?
No.
Not
No, well,
really.
we'll-
Same if you said Trump.
Yes. Oh, this is the reason I hadn't said Trump. Pence would be a surprise.
Pence would be more of a surprise.
Yeah.
Ken Hovins.
Would actually be a bit of a surprise.
No, I reckon-
not
Oh,
the
no,
sex
no,
pest.
I say Kent Hovind doesn't count because you said seemingly respectable. So
I also think it's likely.
Ken Ham would be a surprise.
Yes.
Also hilarious.
Yes.
It would be
Hold on,
hilarious.
wait a second. Did you say Mike Pence would be a surprise? or
Yes.
Wouldn't be
Would be a surprise.
Would
Pence
be a
would be a
surprise.
surprise.
I think Pence is.
Isn't he? Hang on a minute. Whoa! Isn't he the one who has art pictures of children being abused inside
Yes.
the hallway of his house?
Does he?
I.
Okay, I'm not sure.
The
Okay,
ultra
hang on. I'm not sure.
conservative-
Okay, one of them, their wife, does a thing called art therapy, where she gets kids to create art based on things that have happened to them in their lives, like abuse. But then, for some bizarre reason, they hang them in the hallway of their mansion house. And there's these really fucked up paintings, and I think it's Mike Pence. I could be wrong,
So
but I think it is
I'm
Mike Pence.
not gonna try and undercut you while you're saying bad things about Mike Pence, because fuck Mike Pence. The only reason that I don't want Trump to be impeached is because then Mike Pence would be president.
Yeah, there's been some
Yeah,
controversial
but-
arguments about that on this show
Yeah.
But
as to who exactly is worse between the two of them.
no, Mike Pence is definitely worse. That's my opinion.
Chance
I'll
is
stand
more
by it.
dangerous,
I'll
I think, in the long term.
fucking absolutely stand by it for the rest of my life. That Pence is a terrible person.
See, I think
Trump
Pence
is at least just an idiot.
I think Pence is probably gay. That's what I find funny.
Yeah, he just wants to bang Anderson Cooper because they'd get along great.
They'd make a nice couple.
Yeah.
Julie says
they'd be the cutest gay couple ever.
Back in a second.
Okay.
What
Natty,
about Cupcake?
Oh god.
Yeah, my pal.
I do think one day that I do think he's going to be caught on Grindr or something like that.
Yes.
Like, that
Yeah.
I could
I
see.
think that's
Total
going to
candidate.
I don't know about like the drugs or anything like that though. But I could see like the old because who was the guy they sort of was it Ted
Oh,
Haggard?
he's
wasn't
definitely a
it?
bottom, isn't he?
Yeah, Ted
I could
Haggard's
see that-
completely
See
homosexual.
that with I could see that with Matt Powell.
Heterosexual.
Mm.
Yep.
But yes, you can definitely donate to Planned Parenthood America in Mike Pence's name, and he'll really appreciate it.
He
I
will.
promise.
Please do. Natty said Obama would surprise me. Judy says Whoopi Goldberg may have done coke back in the day, but she'd never do it now.
If she did, she can take her own bloody advice and do that Scientology quack program. That's all I'll say on her.
I thought that was
Not
Oprah. Oprah.
No, that was
it's,
Whoopi Goldberg. So that's why I had.
Oh, don't say that.
Is Whoopi Scientology?
No, but she was recommending like people, drug addicts use Narcanon a few weeks ago.
Did she even realize it was Scientology when she did that?
Maybe not, but she hasn't come out and she hasn't taken it back.
As far as we know.
Oh yeah, because I didn't think she was into Scientology. So
How do you know? Right. Badger says Robert Downey Jr. That one's still a secret. He's been recovered. Bill Nye. That would surprise me.
Bill Nye
David-
would surprise me. Yeah.
David Attenborough, that one would surprise me.
So I just
I'm not so sure.
I just in the last 6 months realized that David Attenborough and Richard Attenborough are brothers,
Oh, brother.
and that absolutely caused me to shit my brain pan.
That's funny.
Because I've been listening to David Attenborough for like my entire life, and Richard Attenborough as from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, they spent their
And
entire
then
life
I
trying to
realized
one-up
that-
each other.
Yeah, and then I realized that they're from the same family, and
That bothers me a
Ouch.
lot. That bothers me a lot less than Peter and Chris Hitchens.
That one was really weird, man. Peter and Christopher
Who's
Hitchens.
Peter
That one was
Critch-
weird.
Yeah.
Peter Hitchens is a fucking Christian nutjob.
Who the
Yeah, and not
fuck
only is he a
Peter
Christian,
Hitchens?
not Joe.
Yeah.
He is
Send me links.
He's Christopher Hitchens' right-wing, ultra-right-wing brother who writes for a
Right,
right-wing.
I understand what you're saying in a
He
contextual
just-
sense.
He
Send
just
me
would
links.
He would just take though. There's obviously something that he and Christopher Hitchens obviously clearly hated one another because it seemed like
Yeah,
they
do hate each other.
they would deliberately take the opposite position, which
Mm.
is like why when Christopher Hitchens, who I thought had a fucking awful position on like the Iraq War, suddenly Peter Hitchens was anti-war.
The funny thing about Peter Hitchens is when you listen to him, he sounds like a bad caricature of his brother.
Yes.
I think it's deliberate.
Mm.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my day listening to Peter Hitchens because this is something I was totally unaware of. I was listening
two
to
of them-
Christopher Hitchens like
Oh, the two of
5
them did a
minutes
debate
before I
somewhere.
joined the stream.
Yeah.
There's a debate
Yeah, they
between
did.
the
You
two
can
of them
actually watch
somewhere.
that debate of them on YouTube. It's actually on YouTube. that debate.
All the links, you know where to find me. Send them all to me. I will indulge in
It's,
this.
Yeah, ironically,
And-
when they were both like young, both of them were Trotskyites.
Dude,
They started
So-
writing for the Socialist Worker. That's how they started their journalism careers. Was
so Dave, one of your earlier questions was what time in history do you want to go back to? Suddenly I want to go back to when Peter Hitchens and Christopher Hitchens were young. And I want to like be on the bus stop with two of them. and hear them bicker.
What I want to
That
find out to be
is-
true
When
is
they're
that
young, they would have been trying to sell you a socialist worker. That's
They
what they
would.
would have been doing.
I want to find
I
out
wanna
right that
beat them
Peter
both
Hitchens.
up.
I want to find out that Peter Hitchens really is an ardent atheist, right? But he couldn't get. But he would never be as good as his brother, so he had to go in the opposite direction. So everything he says now, he doesn't believe, and it tears at him, it eats at him. But he can't give it up because that's his career.
Yeah, it's sad. The wrong Hitchens brother died.
It's very bad.
Whether we still have to deal with Peter Hitchens in the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've just heard about him, like.
Oh,
a
and
minute
the worst
and
thing
a
is,
half ago,
Peter
and I'm
Hitchens has
so
said shit as well.
disappointed
Peter Hitchens has said shit about Chris since he died.
Come on, Dave. Ask another question.
Let me finish this one. Patrick Stewart, cokedly doing Shakespeare My Love Speech. Mike Pence is
Yes.
dead.
Oh, Lucy's in.
Yes. The first
Hey,
answer,
Lucy.
yes.
Better than all you. I watched Hitchens. Oh, I felt to Hitchens now. Rather than Coke. Right. Well, Mary Berry, next question. Next question.
That one would surprise me.
Mary Berrien birthday.
The next question, which is the second to last
What's the name
question.
who hosts QI now?
Sandy Toksvik.
Cindy Toxic. She
Yeah,
does
that's
the Vox Talks at the moment, which
I
are
love
really
Sandy.
good
I can remember her
on
name.
YouTube.
Right. Question 332. What is the best Wi-Fi name you've seen?
Oh wait.
The best one I've seen recently was, I'm going to say it in German first, Tommy fickt Lucy in den Arsch, which means Tommy fucks Lucy in the ass. I found that nice.
Is that true, Lucy?
I'm not sure if it was Lucy. I just inserted two names there, but that was the structure.
Yeah.
I think I come across one that says buy your own late Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen fuck off, this is mine.
Yeah. Lucy says Sky 09876.
How's it called?
I once sat in a pub beer garden in Fleet and was looking for what's it called, Linksys routers, because I knew all the default passwords for Linksys routers, and everyone I found that had a default password, I changed it to something variation of ha ha ha, learn to change your fucking password.
So there's somebody in my neighborhood whose Wi-Fi router name is FBI surveillance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that.
And that's
I like
very
that.
funny and not that funny.
I could do that joke in Britain, just putting that as GCHQ or something, you know.
Yeah. Apart from the fact that half the country doesn't know what
BBC.
GCHQ is anymore.
Yes. Good.
Oh, so
Badger says Lando Calrissian.
Lando Calrissian.
Bill.
Well, you
Lucy-
never know. You never know. In the new Disney canon, Badger might go down that way.
Bill, if you don't say hello to Lucy, she's going to get mad at you.
sorry, hello Lucy, hi. Sorry, I can't see the chat, so I didn't realise she was
He's
there.
doing
Sorry.
dishes and watching a budgie and his
No,
nan.
I'm dishing up my nan's dinner whilst talking to you, whilst talking to my nan, whilst feeding the budgie. So yeah.
And answering questions. A true multitasker.
Yeah, and answering questions.
Right, so
Clever bit.
we should do the last question. Because
Yeah, let's do the last question.
Fuck off, Scummer.
Would you rather have a horse-sized badger?
We've had that question. And Badger says the best Wi-Fi he's heard is "fuck off, Scummer." Although I don't know if that's question 333.
You love Disney, really, Badger.
333.
Yes, question 333. Would you rather...
confirmed.
Let me keep interrupting while you ask.
I know,
question
so I have to say it
333.
again. So I can cut it up.
Let's have some numerology shit in here.
Question 333.
333.
Here we go.
Question 333.
333.
I'm going to throw something at him.
333.
It's half as evil as 666.
Twa, twa, twa.
333.
Come on, Dave.
Trace.
I'm just waiting.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Right. I'm going to
Game
put it in the
over.
chat in a minute and then let you all read it. Question 333.
Well, I can't see the chat.
Well, then you're
What,
screwed and
what?
you can't answer it. Question 333. Would you rather only be able to whisper or only be able to shout?
Oh, shouting is more fun.
Oh, shout, yeah.
Shout!
I'm gonna go full whisper.
Let it all out.
Because you love it when I whisper.
If I whisper, it's more fun.
No.
I guess you can have fun with whispering, isn't it? You know you love me. You know.
So is that everyone apart from Eyes wants to shout?
Yeah, I want to win at yelling.
I'll fucking holler. I don't like shouting, but I'll whisper.
I'll try something whisper-wise. It might be like that ASMR stuff, like Star Wars Episode 9 was really good, Badger.
No, it wasn't.
He's gonna kill me next time.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill me now.
Badger says Disney is non-canon and should be broken up as a company. How is that relevant to the question?
Oh, I've been teasing him about it. That's why.
And then Natty says squid, and Julie says badger, because they're now asking who's sexier, whether or not it's badger or omegon. Trainbeck says 9. How is that answer anything? Lucy says shout. Julie says
333 is 9. 3 plus 3
oh,
plus
very
3
good.
is 9.
I didn't get that. Julie says whisper, I'm too loud as it is. Natty says shout, shout, shout at the devil. Her pretty mama let me whisper in your ear. Dragondorp, win at yelling. Julie says stop triggering my ASMR, you bunch of teases.
Are we
Lucy says is Godless Scummer a hobbit? Godless Scummer's dead tall.
Talk over you. How does this work?
Oh, Badger.
Does everybody enjoy it?
Godless Scummer's an orcal, right?
Bad Tempered Badger says I'm fucking gonna come round your house and not come in. What the fuck is the point in that?
Who's gonna come in your house?
Right. On that note, we can say goodbye. It's like,
Thank you for inviting me,
thank you for
By the
and
coming.
way-
I'll see myself out shortly.
By the way, hashtag vote Tiger.
Oh yes, put that in. Everyone needs to remember to go and vote for Tiger. Jeff will give the link in a minute.
But
Because-
I will see.
It's in the chat
Oh,
now.
I voted third party.
To say, oh, I've lost my bits of paper. I'm an idiot. I want to say thank you very much to Andy. Thank you very much to Eyes. Thank you very much to Jen. Thank you very much to Jeff. Thank you very much to Bill. And an extra special thank you very much to Badger for coming on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
thank you, Badger. We love you.
By the way, Badger, I know I was teasing you a minute ago, but I was listening in when you told your story, and I sentiments exactly kind of what Jen said. You know, we think the world of you, mate, and that was hard to listen to. It was, but
And
Yep.
I've got more than what I can say at the moment in respect for you.
Mm.
And if you ever want to talk about something, you can track me down on the internets.
He's everywhere. I say thank you very much to everyone else in the chat for making this fun, and my pill timer goes off. Thank you ever so much for coming, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye bye.
Bye.
right.